Hey guys, it is Tanner with Fresh Start. I apologize for no videos for almost 2 weeks. Got kind of something going on in this country. A lot of people are panicking. I'll probably do a video on that eventually. I like to let the hype die down and get more facts, less hysteria. Here is the next video log, and this is on snacking. Now, before we really dive in, I want to give you my definition of a snack. My definition of a snack is anything that's not a meal. So if you eat 2 meals a day or 3 meals a day, great, whatever. I don't care. Five, six, however many you think are best and like to do, great. However, anything you eat that is or drink that has calories outside of those, I view as a snack. So that's my definition moving forward. The next thing is we need to realize and stop being so defensive or even like defensive is actually a great word. I've talked to a lot of people about losing weight, and one of the biggest things is they get very defensive when you ask if they snack. It's not a bad thing. We all do it. I snack. I had a great snack yesterday. It was like a whole bowl of salsa with chips, and I felt great. But I never do that. So it's almost like I really get to enjoy it. But honestly, we just need to all let our guard down. We need to stop freaking out about it, and we need to realize that everybody does it. We shouldn't compare ourselves to other people, but I like to selectively do it whenever it makes us feel a little better. I think we should all feel good about ourselves. So we snack. We snack. It's there. Anybody who says they don't snack usually is a liar. But maybe they're perfect and they don't need to watch this channel in the first place. So we all snack. So let's do some tips for not snacking so much. My first tip would be to not have the source of your snack with you where you are snacking. I personally believe it's best for when we're eating to eat. Don't have TV on. Just sit down and eat. If you sit down and eat, you will not be distracted. You'll be thinking about your food. You'll be chewing your food. You'll probably even eat a lot less in reality because you're going to be like, especially in the beginning, what am I doing right now? I'm just sitting here eating. Oh my gosh, like you'll eat faster or you'll maybe more effectively would be the word. Food will be warmer because you're consuming it, you're chewing it, you're thinking about it. You might even be able to look at your plate and say, oh man, I can't believe it. I don't have as much protein as I thought I did. Or wow, where did all the potatoes come from? Like you'll think about it. You'll maybe start establishing a relationship with your food that you've never had before, or maybe not even that you haven't had it, but you've not been aware of it. So don't bring the source of it with you. If you want some chips, I like spicy nacho Doritos personally. Uh, Put a handful, roll the bag up, put it on a napkin, roll the bag up, put it away, close the cupboard, whatever you want to do, and sit down and have your snack. Now I know what you're thinking. I can eat an entire bag of Doritos. I can also do that. However, whenever I make my snack small, I go somewhere and I have it away from the source of it. The effort, because we're all lazy creatures by nature, like that's the whole idea of a self-preservative species that's super sedentary and has obesity as an epidemic in the first place, we don't like to do things. So the harder we make it for us to do this, the less we are going to do it. That's just how it works. I know I don't have corona. I'm sorry, my nose is just running right now. But so don't bring it with you. And the second point, in addition to that, is once you have your small snack, wait, wait, 10, 20 minutes, wait. Let it work its way down, get into your stomach. A lot of things are going to be going on physiologically that are probably going to tell you that you are not as hungry as you thought you were. Okay? And the more your snack is protein, the more your snack has fat, I know, crazy, fat, the more full you will be. That's just how it works. Sugar and carbohydrates are terrible at making you full. Starch, very good, which is also in some sugars and carbohydrates, but we like to kind of say that and then just go crazy with it. Some people even start subtracting the amount of starches from the amount of carbohydrates, and they don't take into consideration soluble and insoluble, or which type of starch it is, and or fiber it is, and yeah. Anyway, I don't like to get into that. I just like to say, okay, protein, fat, cool. It's going to be a carby one. I know it's bad. I'm bad. But psychological health is important. So I'm going to have a small one and then I'm going to wait a little while and I'm not going to be as hungry in 15, maybe 20 minutes. And the pleasure of having those are definitely going to outweigh the guilt because I'll be like, hey, I only had a small one. So the next up, I like to view vegetables, raw vegetables, as always being okay. Now you can really get nitpicky here and look up the individual glycemic index. It's going to be like a 0 to 100 scale of the vegetables that you're eating. And raw is better. Raw is better. You don't break down the starch, or you don't break down the fiber or the starch, honestly. And it will make you fuller, faster, and longer. And also, the less you break down those starches, the longer they take to digest, and the less rapidly you spike your insulin. The less rapidly you spike your insulin, the less you really just take a dump on your cortisol and your growth hormone, and epinephrine even too. So essentially, what I'm trying to say: don't take your snack with you. Have smaller snacks. Wait. If you can be a good boy or girl, have protein or vegetables as your snack. And if you're going to be really bad, say, hey, it's okay. Everybody freaking does this, and I need to stop shaming myself for doing it. But I need to realize that this is probably contributing to the problem that I'm trying to solve. That's what we need to realize. It's okay. Like we all do it. And there's okay. Here's a personal example from somebody I've helped. Well, I guess it's their personal. I'm not going to give any descriptors. But one person that I was helping loved almonds. He loved almonds so much, and he kept a bag in his desk. And he would, I'm going to have a few. Okay, I'm going to have a few more. I'm going to have a few more. And that, among a lot of other reasons, was one of the biggest portions of why, or reason why we couldn't make him lose weight. And so I said, all right, let's just have a handful, a small handful, 5, 6, 7 almonds, and let's wait. Man, that's crazy. So he tried it, and it worked. He did not want as many almonds. He just knew he had to wait, because once he did it once, he realized, I only got to wait 15 or 20 minutes, and I'm not even really going to want any more of these. So that's kind of a small, random example. Maybe you guys don't even like almonds, or you're allergic or something, but I'm telling you that this stuff works. You just have to try it, okay? So, my next point that I want to mention, which I briefly touched, is the physical and the psychological benefits or lack thereof of snacking. So, let's take bodybuilders. Bodybuilders are on the extreme end, right next to anorexic patients as far as eating disorders and body dysmorphia, viewing yourself much differently and usually more negatively than other people view you. It's not a terrible way to think about that. But they count everything. They measure everything that they put into their body, usually down to almost like 5 or 10 calories, right? So they're so strict about everything. So when someone's entire job is about looking a particular way, and usually, almost in all cases, consuming a significant amount of steroids, hopefully done the right way, but that's it. That's what their job is, right? And they always look at themselves as being too small or imperfect. They're all about balance, blah 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 blah. But you have these people that are just so anti everything that is pleasurable, and like, yeah, they have so much exogenous hormones in their bodies, and they're doing so much physical activity that the calories that they need every single day usually are pretty substantial, right? But what I want you to think about is that mindset. Do you really want to count every single thing you put into your entire body and messing with all these percentages and like have bulking and cutting and bulking and cutting, and I got to do my cardio these days because this is how much I burned this day. I had a few too many that day. And it's like the most overwhelming neurotic type of behavior that you could possibly ever have. It works. Obviously, if you count every and measure every single thing you put into your body after you guesstimate your basal metabolic rate, which is extremely hard and in most cases very inaccurate. But once you find it, which takes a lot of time, which can be good because you're paying attention to your body and your food and all of that. But most people don't want to do that. And I'm all about making things simple. Like some things I'm going to tell you to do suck, but they don't suck for very long, right? Like it sucks only having a few almonds, but in 10 or 15 minutes, you're not as full or you're not as hungry. That doesn't suck that bad, right? So I don't really want you to be like on that bodybuilder anorexic side, and then I don't also want you to be on that, like, let's say like that 15 to 16-year-old teenager who could just eat whatever they wanted and never lose any weight or never gain any weight. Like they don't care. Most of us didn't like that person. That used to be me. For personal experience, I know how that goes. But we want to be somewhere in the middle. We don't want to worry about every single thing that we are eating. We want to think about everything that we're eating. We don't want to kill ourselves anytime we want to snack, but we want to have a smaller snack. Leave it in the cupboard, the pantry, whatever you call it. Take it with you. Tell yourself, hey, let's try to have the snack closer to dinner and not like in the middle. I'm going to put up a little chart, and this chart is going to show you what your insulin should look like throughout the day. Like your insulin really should only be really high when you're eating, and I don't necessarily mean really high, but it should be like you're going to see this line, it's going to go boop, and then level off, and then boop, and then level off, and then boop, and then level off, right? Like that's just how it works. Your insulin should not be high all the time. So then we take a diabetic, right? They're not sensitive to insulin, so modern medicine is like, I know a way, we'll just give these guys insulin all the time, it keeps them alive, right? Um, yeah, it does keep them alive, but it also keeps their insulin up and the blood sugar, and they keep getting less and less sensitive to it, and their blood sugar keeps going up, their A1C keeps going up, and diabetes pretty much contributes to almost every single pathology on the planet in a negative way. So, if by keeping our insulin up throughout the day, that's essentially how you cause diabetes. By keeping your insulin and blood sugar up throughout the day, eating, it's how you get diabetes. Diabetes type 2, adult onset, or now it's just type 2 diabetes mellitus. That's how you get it, right? So if we're pre-diabetic or we are diabetic, we need to tell ourselves, I don't want my insulin up throughout the day. I don't. The more my insulin's up, the less sensitive I'm going to be to it, and the more likely I'm going to get diabetes. It's like, it's so simple. Hormones are really simple. It's kind of complicated as far as how many there are, but the way they work and how most of them are anti-other hormones like sympathetic, parasympathetic, rest, digest, fight or flight, um, it really makes sense. So the fact that we perpetuate diabetes with insulin rather than try to fix it blows my mind. And most of us don't really want to fix it. We want to eat because that's what makes us happy, and other things don't make us happy. And that might be a little deep, but honestly, a lot of us are. Pleasure foods, right? Why is that a thing? You know, feels good to sit down and eat a big bowl of ice cream, but most people get broken up with. You tell them, hey, you want to go for a run? Not very many people are like, yeah, that's the first thing I want to do. But they probably feel just as good as that bowl of ice cream. Try and talk them into doing that. You're not gonna, right? So we do things out of habit, out of rituals. It's why people still think breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It's like really not, really not. But so just a quick-ish video on snacking. Hopefully not too much sarcasm. And sorry for the delay in videos. And I'll try to pump a few more out this week. Really just looking for ideas because I have a lot of ideas for videos, but I don't necessarily know if those are the ones that people want to see. So I guess we'll find out. But I'm Tanner with Fresh Start. Hope you have a great day. Hopefully you're not on quarantine. If you are, let's make it a good one because we don't know when we're going to get one of these ever again. So take care, guys.